Welcome back, friends, to Tune to Life. I'm so glad you're tuning back into us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please subscribe. We're noticing that again. A lot of people like the content, like what we're doing. So please subscribe and take anything other than just a little click just to subscribe. It really helps us and helps us to do what you do. But thanks very much for doing that. Now, today's subject is a continuation from last week. We talked about reality, but we felt that there's so much we hadn't addressed.
So much more.
So it's a huge topic.
It is.
And bear with us, because as we are not scientists. We're just ordinary people trying to look at it and question our understanding of what reality is, what we think it is, and so on. And it's a huge subject matter. But I think even more so now, more than any time before, reality is something that we got to question, because there's so much information available to us.
That's right. Information and misinformation out there.
Yeah,
that's true. So
available to us in terms of what we see. You know, we look at movies and CGI. That's right. It is. Sometimes you can't work out whether something is real or not, and it's experience. So it made us think about all these different things. But more importantly, you know, what is reality? What is it? You know. So, you know, one of the things that I've looked at is. It's about holding an ice cream cone.
Okay.
It's a hot day, you're holding the cone and you're licking the ice cream. Now you've got a taste. You can see the ice cream, you can taste it. Right? Now it dribbles down your hand. It's cold. So it's some sensory. Right? Now, when you're holding it, taste it's cold. So that's our brain telling us it's cold. Our senses. We've got the taste of it. It tastes good. It tastes like vanilla or whatever it might be. All right? Okay? We see the ice cream there. But all these senses that we experience, our five senses, feed into our brain.
That's right,
Like we covered last week, we only see 0.0035% of what's going on. So our brain sort of makes up the rest. It makes up what it perceives to be reality.
That's right,
So we're only seeing a very small snippet of what actually exists. So in that respect, our brain gets experiences the world through our senses, but only a small fragment of what exists.
That's right,
And it fills in the gaps to make conscious sense of it.
That's right.
So really, we don't even know what reality is. And we're only experiencing a small percentage of reality. And that blows my mind.
No, it is amazing. But you know what I find interesting also is that how our world is constructed by science and what they say is right, deemed to be right, and what is not deemed to be accepted. And based upon the fact that we only have such a minimal sense of what we actually really
can experience. Observe reality in a sense. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
And there's the thing is, you know, it's a bit like this. It's really funny, because I was looking at this and like quantum physics is a bit like this. In a sense. That so quantum theory in a sense is a bit like this. You know, when you're a kid. Right, all kids do that. I don't know. Maybe I was just weird, but
go on.
You know your fridge, and the light. When you'd open the fridge door, did you ever do that? To see whether the light's still on. You always wonder as a kid, is the light still on? When you shut it, because when you open it, it's there, and you try to get to a point where you see the light. You know, and you open it, you just fractionally open like that, and it's on. You think, oh, you close it, and you just try and open it again to see if it's on, and it's on. So you believe, you think, you wonder as a kid. Is the light on all the time?
That's right. Yes.
And you shut it. Is it on now or not? You have to open it really quickly. So it's a bit like that. So is it on? And can you see it? And if it's not there, is it still on?
That's right.
I think reality is like that. The things that we can't see, are they actually there? Or we can't see particles. We can't see atoms. So we don't see them. So are they really there? And yes, they are there. You see what I mean? So this is what is fascinating. So when you look at all these different things, you have to take everything that we experience into consideration. But what we understand is reality. About how we perceive things and how well we think. And so, you know, I think this is you know, in the right way, we never experience the world directly, do we? Think about it. We never experience it directly because it's only through our senses.
That's right.
You know, what we smell, taste, hear, feel,
Mm.
and the brain then
Conjures up,
makes up what it believes is. So it's not direct interaction with reality, is it? That is mind blowing. Yeah. So in a roundabout way, you look at it. Sorry, guys. I hope you're keeping with me because I'm just trying to think this thing through. It's a bit like saying we're in our body, and whatever you believe, I believe that we're more than just what we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I believe. And that makes up part of my reality.
That's right. Yeah.
So when you're driving a car, you're not the car. You're driving the car. You're in the car driving the car. The car becomes almost an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
You're driving it. Yeah? Come out the car. You're still there.
That's right, yeah.
So in a roundabout way, I look at it as that our bodies are like the car. So when our bodies die, I don't think that that's the end.
Ends it, yeah. Okay.
There's a degree of consciousness that exists
that we continue
beyond that. Yeah, so that's the element of it, which makes up part of the understanding of reality. So that in itself is controversial, maybe not scientific.
Yeah.
But
makes up sense of your understanding of reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, it's a funny thing.
And so with our consciousness evolved then in that state.
No, I think I mean, if we go down that road slightly, then I believe that our consciousness, if you want to go down that road, into the spirituality, I think our consciousness continues on outside of our body, and it's on this like a vessel, a container.
Yeah.
And that we exist, we're more than the physical body.
Yeah, I get that.
More than the physical body. And we're going down
we're going
which is fine. Because I want to explore that a little later on.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, I think that's important for us to explore because it makes up part of what people believe.
Perceive,
and so on. And we're sciences. And science needs to be able to measure these quantifiable things
to make them exist and
exactly
and accept them.
And some things we can't do that with. So therefore they say it doesn't exist, and that's wrong.
Well, it has to be hugely flawed. I mean, if you're saying that actually, minus 1%, lower than 1% is our ability to be able to accept our reality, then and so there's 99% of those things that we can't see, then how can you just disclude all of that world altogether? That just
in
itself is a flaw in itself.
It's like a movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
The movies make pixels and light and sound and whatever, and they create a movie on a screen, which we then digest, our brain digests and makes sense of the story.
Yeah.
And we feel the emotions through that and senses, yeah? So it's the same way that the world, how we experience it, and the light and sensory, that our brain takes in elements of what we see, creates a story from that, and it creates our reality. Yeah, because our reality created just by our physical senses, no, it's by our brain.
Yes, that's right.
Our brain creates that reality based on the data that it receives.
Yes, yeah.
And makes sense of that data. So it builds a story around that to make sense. So I think in that sense, it's an interesting one.
I think it is.
Yeah. So reality, I think, isn't what we just see. I mean, I got some notes here. It's a dance between the outer world and the inner world. It's like reading a book. The words on the page, but the story comes alive in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the words are the information. When you read it, but you give the words life.
Yeah, meaning and purpose.
So think about the author. The author thinks of a story, creates that in his or her brain, then writes that down on paper. Somehow that information gets transmitted and conjures up an emotion, a feeling, an idea, a sense of story in one's brain.
That's right.
And that's received by someone else. But each person will receive it slightly differently.
That's right.
Based on the brain.
Yeah.
And bring about things differently.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is so fascinating.
It is.
It really is. But it goes to show about how we are in the world we live in. You know? And I think that it takes us down that road of that spirituality which you mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, it's about people having out-of-body experiences, dreams, and so on. What are they then? What are they? Yeah? What are they? Because sages and old ancient Egyptians and whatever would say that this world is an illusion, as it were. And when you think about it, if we only take in a small percentage of light and our senses only cover a fraction of what actually exists, we can't see atoms, particles, we can't see this, we can't see that, and our brain makes up the rest, then this world technically is an illusion.
That's right. That's very true. Very, very true. Yeah. It makes sense.
Therefore, what we say isn't possible is not true. Everything is possible, and everything is everything, and everything is connected in that sense, since quantum theory.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, right, we see, it's quite fun, isn't it? Because let's look at young children, 2-3 years old, and how you can tell them a story.
Yeah.
And they believe that story to be real.
Oh, definitely.
And live out that real experience.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. They're like a sponge and soak up anything.
Yeah, they do. Very impressionable.
Very impressionable. Yeah. And therefore, what you were talking about last week about the power of the mind and being able to have positive affirmations when program the mind is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because when we're younger, right, we have negative impressions.
Yeah.
Parents might say, you're being stupid, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't. All the things that you cannot do.
That's right.
As opposed to all the things that you can do.
That's right. Which shapes your team.
And I think also, again, imagination plays a large part
massive.
of that.
And you're funny, so you spoke about reading a minute ago, or kind of stories. I think that one of the concerns, not to deviate too much, but one of the concerns I think is that younger people aren't using the imagination, and that's it's almost like it's creative genius that they have within them, that we have within us, should I say, not just young children, it's adults too, to really create a world, a reality that may
or change their own understanding of reality. Because I think that I think that when kids are 2-3 years old, they will play, imagine, and I think play is good because it allows them to imagine and surpass what. But then parents, I think, tend to say that's rubbish. You can't do that. That doesn't exist. And then create those boundaries, which they grow into. Yeah.
You know, it's funny actually. I remember, so when I was growing up younger, I used to have quite a creative mind, and I used to kind of come up with these games and stuff like that. I remember that I was very much kind of like, I know if my dad caught me doing that stuff, it was almost like, I was going to get, not say punished, but, ridiculed for what you're doing. You should be doing it, you had in the book, or, you know what I'm trying to say? So the creative magic, there's this kind of whole, not say magic, but this whole part that you can tap into that creates this world and everything else. But also we can be stifled and said, no, that's not good. When actually, that kind of creative genius can take us many places.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I used to remember as a kid, and I remember this really well. I don't know how old I was. I was very young.
Yeah.
I was very young. I'd have memories from when I was very young.
Okay.
And I'd remember that colors had taste.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really weird.
Okay.
And there is a lot of research on colors having taste or influencing whatever it is. There's some research on that. I didn't actually look into it, but apparently some research on it. So remember, vivid color like yellow, green,
Okay.
blue, all different
Okay.
colors had a particular taste for me. And
Right,
I
okay.
used to know, I don't know why I linked
That's
taste to that,
That's
like a
interesting.
certain taste or a feeling.
Mm.
So yellow had a certain feeling, green had a certain feeling, blue had a certain feeling. And I'll link, I don't know why, the link to what they were.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a very interesting experience going on.
Yeah.
And somehow feeling it. And then I remember, even as a young child,
Yeah.
I would have out of body experiences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Out of body experiences. And even I remember, he's a, I don't know, probably I would have been about 5, 6.
Oh,
Whatever
wow.
it is.
Very young.
Yeah, I remember having that body experience and being stuck on the ceiling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On the ceiling, and didn't realize whether I was at the ceiling or on the floor.
Cool. Wow.
Okay. Really weird. I remember that. And that was really weird. And seeing my bed there and whatever. I remember that as a kid. So that in itself was interesting.
Yeah.
Now, scientifically, you can say, oh, well, there is this or that or whatever it is. I know. But there's so many people that have those experiences.
Of course it is. Of course there is. Yep.
Yeah. And lots of different experiences like that, out-of-body experiences, dreams and so on are very, very popular. Yeah. But look at it this way, yeah. It's interesting that we live obviously in the West. We're in here in the West, and the West poo-poos spirituality and those sorts of things in a big way.
Yep.
But for the rest of the world, I think, parallel to certain scientific understanding, they hold certain spiritual understandings too. Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, you can, and this is interesting because you can be here and scientifically, you can say, I don't know, someone had a dream. I had a dream about this or a dream about that or whatever it might be. And you might mention to people whose cultural understanding doesn't lend itself to kind that of way of thinking. And I think, oh, that's nothing. That's just whatever. But yet still, you can go to another, all these, most places in Southeast Asia, South Asia, South America, the Caribbean, Africa, and lots of other places. And you can say that, and they go, oh, that dream means this, or that means that. That's right, or this, that's good, or that. But they will understand it, even though they may have religious, ideas, or they accept a degree of scientific understanding. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. It works in tandem. Yeah. Whereas this part of the world, it not really. Yeah. It's poo-pooed.
Yeah. And I think, Andrew, that what's really important, I think, is that for, say, the author, but the individual to take account of where they are and how they understand their reality. You talk about dreams. I mean, I know, so, one of my friends' dad's passed, and he came to me in a dream and gave me some information to give to him. Now, it sounds a little bit out there, like, wow.
Yeah.
But, like, my friend at the time was going through some stuff, and I was able to relay some information to him, and he felt really reassured as a result of that information, that, like, oh, wow. And obviously it was a difficult time because his dad had passed, you know what I mean? And I think, again, we have to kind of pay testament to what our reality is and not poo-poo it, oh, because it's not written in the books or because of science says this, then actually we're going to discredit our own experience.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think that's very important too. In addition to that, it's just how we see the world. Do you remember, there are many people that can do this. Okay. Remember Uri Geller?
Yeah, that's the bend
the spoon.
That's yes,
and he did it on TV.
That's yeah.
And some said he was a fraud and this, but the reality is a lot of people were able to do it.
That's right, yeah.
He did it and was rubbing the spoon, and said, and it would bend. Yeah. But when I said he was a fraud, but other people did it themselves.
That's right, yeah.
And were doing it. So it goes to show there is something going on there.
Yeah.
And just in the same way as levitation.
Yeah, I saw one the other day. You said to me about it.
Now, look, all around the world, whether in Africa, whether in Southeast Asia, whether in South Asia, you know, whether in wherever.
Yeah.
There are people levitating who believe in a particular spiritual system or understanding or whatever it is. And that goes to show that science don't know what to make of it because it defies the law of physics. But I don't think it defies anything. It's just that physics don't know those laws.
Interesting. So there's a whole different principles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that, and this is my take on it. I've got an open mind.
Yeah.
Always have done. And I think the shortcomings of science is that they believe at that point in time, at any point in time, that they've got the answers to what they understand now. And the answers they don't have
doesn't exist.
The thing doesn't exist until they have the answers for it.
Yeah.
And if there are things that seem to exist, it may not be scientific. It may just be some sort of something that happens, whatever. And I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Is the fact that I believe, my personal belief is that science is trying to play catch up with what has always happened.
Yeah.
And certain phenomena that happen because of the nature of the world, the way our world, the way the cosmos, the way the universe exists. And the fact that we have so little experience of it, we see so very little of it. We don't know all of what exactly is possible.
That's right.
And like I was saying, everything is everything. And maybe nothing is impossible. It's the fact that we have contained ourselves.
Put constraints on ourselves, isn't it? In terms of our understanding of that. And I think that's really powerful. I think, and actually, I think, because I was thinking about in terms of our created reality and in terms of what we perceive, and is it manipulated, as to speak, in terms of that. And it got me thinking about kind of the contradiction between perception and how it shapes our reality. So the question that kind of come to my mind was, are we seeing the world as it is, or is it as it's told it is?
No, your brain makes up a perception of what the world is. That's how you interact with it. But everybody, see, in my view, look, depending on where you are, depending on what part of the world you're living in, cultural traditions, ideas, whatever, all these aspects of your experience make up your perceived understanding of your own reality.
Yeah.
And remember, your consciousness makes your reality. That's in my view.
Yeah.
Your consciousness makes your reality. Because you could say that I see things like this. And I might say, well, no, I don't. Where do you see that from?
That's right.
This is the way the world works.
That's right. Yeah. So are we objective? Are we?
You know, we can't be. Because the information we get is limited. Think about it. It's limited, the information we get. It's like imagine having a huge jigsaw puzzle where there's supposed to be, let's pretend, there's supposed to be a million pieces, that jigsaw puzzle. But you've only got 100,000 pieces. But you don't know you have 100,000 pieces.
Yeah.
And you don't know there's a million pieces.
Yeah. So you kind of just.
But you got 100,000 pieces. And you've got no picture.
Yeah. So how do you start? Where do you start?
Where do you start?
Yeah.
What are you putting together? So you're trying to find somewhere putting something together, but you don't know what it looks like. That's my thing. But people believe, well, we've got the pieces.
Yeah.
That's enough.
That's it. Yeah.
How do you know you got all the pieces?
Yeah. No. I hear that.
See? Yeah. And that's what we're building our sense of reality. You know, this is this, that is that. And it's not the case. And hence, you know, religions to a degree create some of our understanding of reality. But beyond the religious dogma and so on, there's another understanding. You know, because you have, you know, Sufism, this, that,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
these
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
different things in Hinduism and Buddhism and whatever that takes it a little further,
Mm,
and various other religions as well,
mm,
you know, that takes that further. And I think that we have to examine those. We can't
mm.
just throw them out just because of science, Western science throws them out. So that's all rubbish. It's all mumbo jumbo, primitive stuff. No, you've got to look and understand what they're saying.
Mm.
And, you know, and all of what they're saying is the mind creates reality. Your consciousness creates your reality. We experience. Change your mind, change your conscious understanding, and you change your reality.
That's right.
You know, and I think that there are so many things like the idea of levitation. So I think that creates a powerful truth in so much as that our inner state changes our outer experience.
That's right.
Yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
When your mind is heavy, the world feels heavy.
That's right.
When your mind is lighter, the world feels different.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think, well, there's lots of ancient say laws or kind of traditions, texts that speak about, you know, how that works and our understanding of that. I think, you know what I mean?
And I truly believe that. I think, you know, and it goes with old saying, that old cliche, you know, are you a half glass? Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty?
Yeah.
And there is something very, very truthful in that. It's not just poetic or whatever it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And some people like to delve on the more negative sides of things. And if you take that stance, that's what you do. You create your sense of reality in your own world, get trapped in that reality. Or you can create something more positive in that sense. However, what do we have influencing our understanding? TV.
That's right. Yeah.
Media, the whole media thing. Our friends, work experience, the world we live in creates our understanding of reality.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we hear about wars, we hear about this, we hear about that. Images through light and sound are thrust upon us.
Right.
Yeah. All the time. It's like, it's really funny. But this is a really important point. Is that, you know, look at me as a black male. Yeah. And, you know, there's a sense of your own senses can pick up.
Yeah, of course.
Different energies. And even now in the 21st century, you can be somewhere as a black male and there are people there who might see you and become immediately uncomfortable.
And you can
and that's becoming of their own reality.
That's it,
of the information they get through media, through movies, through this.
I want to comment to that.
Just creating a sense of fear. So you automatically create that in them. And people don't question
that. That's right.
where it's coming from within themselves.
That's right.
You know, and I think that, you know, when we look at TV, I mean, going back earlier on, a long time ago, you watch movies, and movies used to show if black people were on movies. If you look at, and let's go there. I'm going to go there. Looking at movies that were created in the 1930s, 40s, right? And most of them American.
Yeah.
And you see black people in there. They were made to look so dumb and behave in such a stupid way.
Of course.
I mean, if you watch some of them, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And that was the representation
of
how they wanted them to play and act. And that reinforced
of course it did.
Everybody's notion of how we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, take it from then, right the way through into, let's say, 60s and 70s. If you watch a lot of movies then that depicted black people, pimps,
yeah,
drug drug dealers, lazy.
Yeah, of course.
All these stereotypes reinforced through now image and sound and light. Yeah? So that's reinforcing an idea. Right? And when we as black people used to look at that, because a lot of this talked about when other people see it, when we as black people look at it, we were uncomfortable with what we saw. Because that wasn't related to us.
Yeah, it wasn't relatable by any stretch of imagination.
So when you saw, I remember watching Sidney Poitier.
Listen, that was on my tongue. That was on my tongue, ready to come out.
When
the heat of the night,
when he was investigating.
Listen,
and I watched it, and everyone said, when the guy slapped him, bam, and he went bang. And
listen,
I was like,
listen,
wow,
that was a whole nother level. That was,
yeah, and that showed some defiance.
Oh, definitely.
It showed a thinking man. And it represented us as human beings, I think, for the first time.
No. That
and so, not veering off the point, but it's just how that affects people's reality. How you see, how you can objectively connect with the character.
That's right, yeah, definitely.
And so on. But otherwise, most black people in movies were dying in the first 10, 15 minutes.
All the time.
If they were there,
you're just waiting for on countdown. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna die now. Or they, for whatever reason, they would just die, or something would happen, whatever it is. And that's what used to happen. And you see that, and it was just a regular thing. Is a regular thing, and you get used to it. But what I'm saying, it shapes your understanding, because all the movies used to show for decades drug dealers, pimps, prostitutes, whatever, and that's continued on. And it's only until quite recently, in the last 20 years or so, that has changed.
Yeah. And I suppose also in that, Andrew, because I know that actually when looking at TV growing up, all the superheroes were white. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? All the people in power, in position of power.
Generally speaking, it's still the same.
And the thing is, I remember, and this is crazy, because I thought myself, oh my gosh, that took me back. I remember, now this sounds a bit out there, me and my sister playing, right? Say mid-70s, probably kind of like, we had terry nappies on our head. Do you remember terry nappies?
Yeah.
And we used to emulate like we were white with the hair thrown back. Seriously, that's what we did.
Yeah, because the thing is, even at that time, you had no positive imagery.
That's right.
Of yourself.
That's on the TV screen. That's right. That's reality. That was the reality of the situation.
And that made a massive impact. So I think that I think people need to question their understanding of reality.
Oh, without a doubt.
And certainly black people need to understand that as well.
Yeah.
But I think everybody needs to question that. And more importantly, look at the situation as it stands at the minute. Yeah, in terms of imagery. Look at the constant, issues relating to public finances, all the whole thing.
Yeah.
We need to understand, I suppose, people need to understand, well, how are we being manipulated in this process?
That's right.
How are we? And what is the game plan for that?
That's right, yep.
Yeah? And if you can't avoid to think about that, it's worth not thinking about, because it's really about how we improve ourselves and how we understand the nature of reality and understand that reality exists way beyond our observed comprehension.
Yeah.
Way beyond that. And what does that mean? And so, for me, I think a lot of people need to sort of start meditating and do something, because that seems to be a way of moving into a better understanding of what is. And I think this brings me on to this thing. What do you want to
No, what I wanted to mention about, because I think, so obviously you spoke about kind of, we spoke about in terms of the impact on media, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was, I suppose, the perception per se, in terms of, for example, the dominance of a particular race, of enough white people that it may feel that there's a dominance because of the fact that we see them in magazines, we see them on
Yeah,
TV.
let's break it down more. I mean, you're saying, but the thing is, it's about how image, light, sound, all those things projected on a screen, because it's the way our brain works. Our brain works with information. It needs data and information to be able to process and understand something. That's how we gain a sense of our reality. So we are saying is that there are a body of people that understand that explicitly, and therefore utilize those images to create a sense of dominance, this, that, whatever, and so on. And hence that has an effect on people to make them feel dominant, to make them feel whatever it is. And make another body of people feel inferior and
less than. So, for example, look at the terminology we spoke about, ethnic minority. Just think about that for a second. Ethnic minority. And actually, when you think about it, I mean, okay, yes, we're in England, in UK at the moment. And this, yes, the majority of people are white in this country. But actually, if you look at on a global scale.
Yeah, but we've got to put that in context, because yes, in the country we are a minority here. So put it in context, that makes sense. But also what you're talking about is that how that's used more loosely.
That's right. That's
right. The minorities of the world. When people say that sometimes, or some people, not all, some people say that, and that's not that's not the case. We're not the minorities of the world in that sense.
No.
So, but yeah, that's another thing. But that's really not what we're going down. But yeah, I hear what you're saying in terms of that. But I think in terms of how we think, and how light and sound plays a part in that, and how beyond of understanding, which is limited, things that science can't answer, like telepathy, how we connect and how things are connected. How does that work? If I can say, yeah, I need to give Frankie a call, and you call me. Now, that happens to most people more so than it would just be a coincidence. Yeah? More so than coincidence. I can sit there and think about somebody, oh, I'm going to give this person a call. Or in actual fact, sometimes even more so like this. I will, if you like, see you in my mind, and then you'll call. So what's that? That's that interconnectivity that we all have.
That's right.
Or you just come up, oh, now what is it coming to my mind for? Bang, they ring. Or somebody has a dream about someone they haven't seen in years. And they bump into them. And they go, oh, wow. What's that about? See, so the world, we're not disconnected. We are connected. And I think that what's happened is that there is a sense of separateness that has been reinforced by science, by what we do and how we exist, that never really existed before. Because think about this, yeah? If you go back far enough, there were no borders.
No.
You don't have a passport. Think about it. No passport, no borders. People would leave from one land because maybe through war or through famine or whatever it is, and go and settle somewhere else. Yeah? Go and settle somewhere else. And just live in a bit of land. There was, if you go back far enough, there wasn't even really land ownership. Yeah? It was all very tribal, if you go back far enough. So there was an interconnectivity. So you have people with different traditions, maybe in different ways, but they would connect with the local people there, and they will be assimilated into that, and the two type of tribes or people would merge as one and would continue. So we've had this separateness thrust upon us with passport and borders, and you're this, you're that. And realistically, if you go back far enough, you know, I mean, there's one, you know, there's all that. I don't want to go off the point, but I think there's this separateness, and the world. Science talk about different dimensions, or at least quantum theory talks about different dimensions, whatever it is, and how they exist all around us. And yes, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If you don't understand that we don't see everything, then it will be difficult to understand, because then we would think that this world is solid and physical.
Yeah.
And really it's not. It's just our brain gives us an understanding of it is. If you look from quantum, and everything is energy, and matter is just atoms and particles vibrating at different frequencies, giving us the illusion that it's solid or really more malleable. So that will blows your mind even considering that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even go to that point to think, well, yes, it's all illusion, none of it exists, and isn't what it is, what we believe it to be. That is really tough to really get into.
I think that's the difficult part, I think, in terms of having to challenge your mind in terms of your thinking and what you think you see. I think those are the things I think are I say more problematic, but because you have to be open to. I think first of all, you have to be open in a place where you're open to accept that actually, okay, from what I'm seeing, is it constructed in relation to? Is there an agenda in the back of it, and being able to kind of question those things and question those things even within yourself, which sometimes I don't think people sometimes really want to. And also I think, I think we're in a society too where it's a very convenient society, and so therefore, in terms of us having to think critically and take some time to reflect, no, we've got so many vices. We've got our phones, we've got our iPads, we've got our, you know what I mean? We've got so many things thrusted upon us to move us away from actually thinking.
Well, it keeps us occupied on external things.
That's it, not
external stimuli. That's always there and not inward. And I think spiritually there was, look at going inward.
That's right.
For the answers, and you're going inward, inside, wherever, then you are literally going outside, because as I was saying, as within, so without.
That's right.
So that's the sense of it. But yeah, I think there's so much to grasp. It's a huge thing. And I think when there's so many things going on in the world and so many things stimulating us in a negative way,
and our senses
war, we've got things about immigration, and separateness and hate, far right stuff, and all these things that separates us, and it says that's one bit there, that's one bit there, that's one bit there. People stuck in a particular way of thinking based maybe on their own religion. People think based on their skin color, based on this, based on that. It separates everything. And whereas really we're going inwards to think about where we are, who are we, and how things are connected.
That's right.
And connectivity. What is our purpose here, as opposed what is the world? Because we are the world.
Well, that's right. We're a mirror.
So we are the world. So what is our purpose here? Our consciousness, in that sense. But those are the things I think that people should be looking at, perhaps, as well. But I think there's a definitely relationship between science and spirituality. I don't think they're so far apart.
Distant cousins,
yeah. I don't think they're so far apart. I think that's like I was saying, science looks at how does the universe work. Spirituality says, well, why am I here? Why am I in it? They're two different points, but both connected.
Very much so. Yeah.
You know, if you blend them together, it becomes a whole different, you know, reality. It's about what other laws within the universe exist as to why things can happen. Yeah, because nothing is deemed to be really impossible. The laws of physics have been shown to be broken. And if, for example, law of relativity, Einstein was saying nothing will travel faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
But there is something which is growing traction that, you know, if particles communicate at any distance instantaneously at any time, that's breaking the speed of light.
Yes, that's right.
So therefore, that's broken.
Yeah.
If everything's connected. So we're
it's almost like it's like everything's being rewritten, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of our understanding of that, you know.
Yeah. And I think that looking at death, that's another important one. People with near-death experiences always recounting almost the same thing, where science says, "Oh, it's just something, a chemical process the brain goes through with its light." They're always saying something like that, you know, whatever it is. When so many people around the world experience it, and also tell of experiences that, for example, people will die in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And then they're clinically dead, right? They check, no pulse, no this, flatlined, gone.
Yeah.
Right? Gone. So they're not supposed to be hearing anything.
Yeah.
The person sometimes is floating above the body, so they say.
I've heard this before, yeah.
And they hear people say things.
Yeah, that's right.
They see what's going on. Even though their eyes are closed, they see what's going on, what people did, whatever it is, and then they come back.
That's right.
As what people regard as a miracle.
Yeah.
Wake up and then tell them, "Oh, you were crying, you were holding his hand, you got up, but you came back again, you gave me a kiss on the cheek, you said this, you said that, And the doctor said, how do you know that?
Yeah,
you were clinically dead.
Yeah.
You see? So there's more to this than meets the eye.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Much more. You hear of stories of people being clinically dead for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Half an hour. Body being taken off to the morgue. And then they move, like, I'm all right now. I think it's 30, I don't know if there's anybody been dead for an hour, but certainly for a period of time that you think.
That's a long time.
Long time.
That's a long time to be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there are things here that defy our understanding, you know? And I think that death isn't the end. I mean, if you take it spiritually to say it's only a reconnection. And people say that even when you sleep, from a spiritual point, your body, your soul, or your spirit, whichever, leaves the body to go back into the real world, to connect into the real world again. And because this world, as we experience it, is an illusion. Because if we only experience a fragment, a bit like watching a portrait bit of a screen rather than the full widescreen version, they're only seeing a small amount of information. Whereas I think what people are saying, when you die or you go to sleep, you're experiencing how the world works. Because imagine when you're dreaming, you know, if you're dreaming, time doesn't exist. You can be dreaming as a child, and then next minute you're an adult. Next minute you're somebody. There seems to be no.
That's just no rhyme with me. You could be different places at different
times. You could seem to be in two places at the same time.
Yeah.
So again, the laws of what is possible seems to be very different when you're dreaming. Yeah, it's very interesting. You could be somewhere where it's strange. Everything is weird. So are you in a portion of the universe where strange?
I know.
You know what I mean? So you have to ask some questions. Now, obviously, science is going to say, well, it's just you ate too much cheese and you had a nightmare, or this happened or that happened, or your imagination makes it up. But really, is that so? Is that so? Because that's based on the assumption that when you die, that's it. It's the end.
That's right.
And we all know, well, not we all know, but a lot of people recognize that that's not the end. Yeah. I don't believe that's the end at all. At all. So we have to look at those things. But I want to quickly look at sort of quantum spirituality, the physics or the divine. Quantum physics is the study of the tiniest building blocks in the universe, and reveals something shocking, really, that reality isn't as solid as we thought, as I said beforehand. Particles don't exist in one place until they're observed. They behave like waves of probability potential until the awareness locks them in place. So until you observe them, then you realize that it's actually there.
Okay.
If you're able to observe them, right? So we create reality for our minds, as I said beforehand. And it locks us into what we talked about last week about the holographic universe.
Yeah.
It locks us into that, which is very interesting. But, you know, consciousness shapes our reality. Death isn't the end. And we're more than just our body. That's my belief. And I think we get caught up in chasing for things, don't we? We get caught up for seeking validation as to whether successful or not, by having certain items to show the validity of what we've done, being somebody, doing this or doing that. And we don't really value ourselves the way we should. See, and I think that's the thing. If people don't value us, we feel we have less value.
That's right. Very much so.
If we're not recognized for something, we feel that, that's the case.
I think that's the culture. I think that's the culture that we're in. I think it's easy gratification, this validation culture that we're in at the moment. I think that's very much part of that.
Yeah, I think that's part of the thing. I think it's important for us to recognize these things. It's important for us to be party to understanding when if you take a drop out the ocean, is not that the ocean in your hand?
Yeah.
Because you can't separate the two.
You too, that's right.
You drop the drop back into the ocean, where is the drop? It becomes it's the ocean.
That's right.
So we're interconnected. I think that's we're gonna end on that point. But yeah, it's really interesting. And I wonder if you guys think what your experiences are. Do you believe in that? What's your thoughts on it? And will you take charge of yourself and not be subject to how potentially we are manipulated into thinking we're less than, and that we have to be validated by something else, and that you need to take a position where you are of great value. You are more than what you understand. There's so much more to you and to the world that you live in. It's that we have very limited bits of information about what is available to us. But we can understand there's far more. And with that note, we're going to end there. So thank you very much for listening to us rambling on about what we think reality is and so on. And we'll be seeing you again next time. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.